Welcome to week 8 in Math and Society. This next week we're going to be talking about collecting data. But since we had this great coincidence that the Mars rover was put down, the latest Mars rover, the Perseverance, landed last week, we're going to have the writing assignment is really going to be an extra credit assignment this week. We won't have a writing assignment for the collecting data. We're going to do this extra credit assignment and ask you to decide whether it's a good idea to colonize Mars now or not. And so if you open this block, you will see instructions. Don't open the assignment until you read all the instructions. So you get extra credit for two things: for posting your idea, your position, and also you can get extra credit for replying to another person's position. But all this should be done after you've watched these two videos, those colonizing Mars videos. And this is a person who's a proponent of colonizing Mars and a person who's an opponent of colonizing Mars. They're both scientists. They both have good ideas, and they're worth listening to. And I'd like you to listen to them and then decide whether you really think, well, if it's a good idea or not such a good idea, or if you still think there's not enough information, in your opinion, to decide whether it's good to colonize Mars now or not. Any way you do it, you have to support your idea for choosing that opinion. Just give an explanation of that. And also, if you want to reply and get some extra credit for replying to other people, you can do that. If you agree with a person, then you just have to add something new to affirm that position. Or you could ask a question also, but particularly if you disagree with someone, then that's the point where you could ask them a question to help better understand their thought process. So this is not supposed to be a debate about whether it's, whether you think it's a good idea, somebody else doesn't like it, and you go back and forth. That is not what this is about. It's about better understanding a person who thinks and sees things a little differently than you do. And so this really, if you disagree with someone, it's really how well your question is posed so that you can better understand. And if you do agree with them, you can certainly ask a question too, because many people agree at a final conclusion, but they don't have the same thought process to get there. So anyway, this is just an opportunity for some extra credit. I know a number of people have been asking about that, and so there you go. And please, to access this, if you go through the calendar, which a lot of people like to access things through the calendar, and you click on that, don't add a new thread at first. The first thing you should do is view the forum description, because that has in it the instructions for the post and the video links that you should watch both of them, and then the other instructions for the reply. And then once you've done that, then you can go to add a new thread and put in your opinion. Okay? So that's it for the writing assignment for this week, which is just extra credit again. And the other portion we're going to be collecting data is the topic. We have actually 2 weeks on statistics. This is statistics A, and it's about gathering data. Next week will be statistics B, and it's going to be on analyzing data. So this week we're collecting data, and the objectives are really to talk about how data is collected. How do we gather information from wherever we might get it? And so there's methods of gathering it, and typically those methods we refer to as sampling. We get a sample of the population that we're interested in typically. And there's vocabulary surrounding this, what a population is, what data types there are. There's also various sources of bias that you'll be asked to determine what those sources might be in different scenarios. And also we'll have scenarios where we have the difference between an experiment and a study. So some of the things we'll look at are experiments where there's typically some kind of intervention, and we find out what happens to a control group versus what happens to the experiment group. And then there's studies, which are, we're looking at information from something that's pretty much already happened, and we're not setting up an experiment. And so we'll also analyze that study, determine whether we think the conclusion was well supported, or if there's holes or questions that might challenge that conclusion. So those are the objectives for the week. Monday at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. I'll be doing lectures on this topic, and then you'll have exercises that's in the assignment block. And as I said, we don't have, it says collecting data written assignment. There's not going to be a separate written assignment. There's just the extra credit forum discussion on the Mars colonization topic. There will be a quiz, and that quiz is due on Saturday. So we have exercises and a quiz, and then the extra credit. So again, the text is here. You can click on this to get to the text for that, and there's the extra videos. But you do know that in all the exercise sets, I have videos embedded in the first several problems so that you get an example of what you're going to be seeing in that unit. Okay, so that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of what we'll be doing in that and for the week. And I look forward to getting your input on the colonization of Mars, and also I'll see you tomorrow either at 11 a.m. or 7 p.m. Okay, have a good week.